In the very beginning, before anything we know existed, there was only a vast, silent darkness, an empty canvas, waiting for the first stroke of a masterpiece. Imagine the deepest quiet, a stillness that stretched on forever. But this wasn't an ending. It was a prelude, a cosmic hush before the grand symphony of creation was about to begin. And then, into that immense silence, a voice spoke. It was the voice of God. With that first word, everything we know and everything we don't burst into existence. The silence was broken, the darkness was shattered, and the story of the universe began. The very first thing God commanded was, "Let there be light." And instantly, light flooded the void. It was pure, brilliant, and powerful, pushing back the endless darkness. It wasn't the light of the sun or stars just yet. This was the primordial light, the very concept of illumination brought into being. God saw this light, and he knew it was good. He then made a distinction, a separation between the light and the darkness. He called the light day and the darkness night and wheat. The first cycle of time was established. The evening and the morning were the first day. The rhythm of our world had begun. On the second day, God turned his attention to the great expanse. He spoke again, creating a firmament, a vast dome that we call the sky. This sky was a majestic barrier, designed to separate the waters. It divided the waters above from the waters below. Imagine a great, celestial ceiling, holding back a heavenly ocean, while below, another ocean swirled. This act of separation brought order to the chaos, structuring the heavens and preparing the world for what was to come. The sky wasn't just empty space. It was a deliberate creation, a testament to divine architecture. With the sky in place, the third day dawned. God looked upon the waters below that covered everything and commanded, "Let the waters under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And just as he said, the waters receded, pulling back to form mighty oceans and seas, revealing the earth beneath. The land rose up, forming continents, mountains, and valleys. But God wasn't finished. He then spoke to the newly formed land, coaxing life from the soil. "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." Immediately, the bare earth transformed into a lush paradise. Grass carpeted the hills. Flowers of every color imaginable bloomed, and towering trees reached for the sky. Every plant, every herb, every fruit was intricately designed, each with its own purpose and beauty, and each with the ability to reproduce and continue its legacy. The world was now green and vibrant, bursting with life. God saw all that he had made, and it was good. The fourth day was dedicated to the heavens above. The sky, which was created on the second day, was still a blank canvas. So God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times, and days, and years." And with that divine decree, he created two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, which we call the sun, and the lesser light to govern the night, our moon. He also made the stars, scattering them like countless diamonds across the dark velvet of space. These celestial bodies weren't just for beauty. They were a grand cosmic clock, marking the passage of time, guiding travelers, and filling us with wonder. They filled the heavens with a silent, sparkling glory. On the fifth day, God turned his attention back to the waters and the air. The seas were vast and deep, but they were empty. The sky was wide, but it was silent. So God spoke, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the firmament of the sky." The waters suddenly came alive. Great whales and tiny fish, creatures of all shapes and sizes, began to swim and explore the depths. The oceans were no longer just water. They were a thriving, bustling ecosystem. At the same time, the air filled with the flutter of wings and the sound of birdsong. Eagles soared on the wind, and sparrows chirped in the newly grown trees. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." Life was now moving, swimming, and flying. The sixth day arrived. the final day of creation's labor. The land was green and beautiful, but it was waiting for its inhabitants. God commanded, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds." The livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, and so it was. From the earth came every kind of animal: majestic lions, gentle lambs, enormous elephants, and tiny insects. The land was now filled with the sounds and movements of the animal kingdom, each creature perfectly suited for its environment. The world was teeming with life, a masterpiece of biodiversity. But the pinnacle of creation was yet to come. With the world set in place, adorned with plants and filled with creatures, God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness." This was different. Everything else was spoken into existence from the elements, but humanity was to be a direct reflection of the Creator. So God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Then, seeing that it was not good for man to be alone, he created woman, a companion and partner. He created them, male and female, in his own image. He gave them minds to think, erts, to allow, and a spirit that could connect with him. He blessed them and gave them a special purpose: to be stewards of this incredible world. Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. They were not just another creature. They were caretakers, entrusted with the flourishing of all creation. As the sun set on the sixth day, God stood back and looked at everything he had made. He had seen that each individual part was good, but now, seeing it all together, the light and dark, the sky and seas, the land and plants, the sun, moon, and stars, the birds, fish, animals, and finally, humanity, he saw that it was not just good, it was very good. It was complete. It was perfect. And so, on the seventh day, the work was finished. But this day was not like the others. On this day, God rested from all his work. He didn't rest because he was tired, but to set an example, to mark the completion of his perfect creation. He blessed the seventh day and made it holy, a day of peace, reflection, and connection with him, a sacred pause built into the very fabric of time. This is the story of our beginning, a story that starts not with a random bang, but with a purposeful word, a world crafted with intention, designed with artistry, and filled with love. From the first spark of light to the first human breath, every detail was a note in a divine symphony. And that same love that spoke the world into being is the love that sustains it today. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to the beginning. If you found this story as inspiring as I do, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need a little wonder in their day. Until next time, take care.